We have talked about the migrant surge. There's a new surge coming. Unlike the Biden administration, we're not going to be shocked and, oh my gosh, I can't believe, because we're reading the reports. We're reading the news. We're seeing what the foreign ministers of these Central American countries are saying, and they are saying this is coming. And guess what? It's 3 times the amount of people that you dealt with last time.
The problem here is called lack of preparation, lack of understanding, lack of being able to get your hand around the situation, and a failure of diplomacy. Let's be clear, this is also a failure of diplomacy.
A Panamanian foreign minister who is telling them that, hey, has now told the country publicly, instead of handling it diplomatically, there's another 60,000 of these people coming your way. And what would you like us to do about that? You're the superpower. We are not. They're coming to your country. They're just passing through ours.
And what's the plan when this next wave hits, Jay? And if you just look at the evidence, I think the plan is by and large to let them in. I mean, maybe there's going to be a little bit of enforcement, but by and large, the plan from this administration is to let them in.
Yeah, I think the plan is going to be we'll deal with it when we get there. I think that there is no plan.
Well, that's why the Panamanians are speaking out now, because they're saying, hey, we're telling you, so they can't play this game like we're not doing our part. And they're actually speaking out and saying the Biden administration is acting surprised when they are being told time and time again by our allies, friends, this is what is heading your way.
It is so sad to hear the Panamanian foreign minister saying, with respect to the United States, we've engaged with every single authority we can think of that we can come across to say, please, let's pay attention to this. And they've gotten no response.
When they speak out in a negative way to the United States, you know things have gotten particularly bad with the relationship, and that they're willing to risk harming the relationship.
You got to have a plan, and there's no plan.
Not only no plan, you have to assess the battlefield situation somewhat correctly, and the assessment's not even there. I mean, this border that is closed has tens of thousands of people crossing a closed border. And here's the thing, talk is cheap. Their actions are saying to the people from South America and Haiti and other places, if we get to the border and get across, there's a good chance we'll be able to stay. And unfortunately, they are quite correct.
So these countries know about it along the way. They tell the U.S., then it's all shock that they've created, a migrant city underneath a bridge. Then they clear that out. But let me tell you, that was 20,000. Imagine 60,000 for Del Rio, which is the entire city's population is 20,000.
The Biden administration has ignored reality. So basically, what do we have now? We have a border crisis that President Biden is simply comfortable with.
An administration that's unwilling to use procedures and policies and plans that worked just because it was the Trump administration. I think Americans are probably sick and tired of, if something worked because it was the Trump administration, they can't use it. That is ridiculous. And that is how they operate. I feel like if it worked under Trump, if it was even a good take out all the politics, if it happened under him, they feel like they can't even use it as an option.
In February of this year, President Biden instructed ISIS in an order they were not to ever track these people down unless they were a national security threat on the terror watch list or they were convicted of a violent felony, but they released them without knowing either of those things.
That's what's so absurd, the idea that you would say, okay, now go find the ones that were national security when they were in your custody.
Once they get dispersed into the population, guess what, Jay? They're gone. They're in this country. They become assimilated. You'll never see them again.
The policies were working, and the policies really just simply said, we're going to make these process these applications while you're waiting on the other side of the border. We're going to confirm who you are. Maybe you'll get in, maybe you won't, but we won't just arbitrarily release you and expect you to return. I mean, Jay, we've got to learn from history here.
The remaining Mexico policy, Jay, was common sense. It was also humanitarian. It avoided the kind of scenes that we saw under that bridge in Del Rio for the last 2 weeks where people are suffering.
Terrible.
We're being told again, this is happening. So in a month from now, when there's 60,000 more Haitians at the border, do not buy, we've never seen anything like this before. This is unbelievable. It's not. They're telling you. They're telling you, and they're giving you time to do something about it. It's just that the solutions that work, they don't like politically.